Well, would you look what's back? Every once in a while you have a vehicle that really makes you look bad as a technician. I did the right side rocker or right side lifters on this thing about 3 weeks ago. It lasted 1 day. Came in with a misfire on the same cylinder with the same lifter collapsed. I did a bunch of extensive testing. I got a video on YouTube and came to the conclusion that the new lifter I put in was defective because it was collapsing. I have electronically deleted the active fuel management system. So I convinced the dealership to replace the lifter under warranty, which they apparently did. I talked to the tech, and the customer picked it up from the dealership. They had it for about a week and was driving it after about a day and a half, and it started misfiring again. That lifter is really collapsed. Wow. Same lifter. So now I can't see why it would be a valve lifter oil manifold, but that's what they're suggesting. It's got to be because one solenoid in the valve lifter oil manifold controls these two lifters. And if you watch the previous video, I could deactivate this lifter. I'm going to pull this push rod out. Maybe the push rod bent. Well, there's the push rod. It's pristine. The lifter is completely collapsed. Even if it was the valve lifter oil manifold that was leaking and sending oil pressure to that lifter when it shouldn't, there's no frickin' oil pressure there now, so why is the lifter collapsed? I don't get it. This is insane. I don't know what to do, because theoretically this head has to come off again. It's the third time. Wow. So I took one of the original lifters that had not failed, and I put air pressure with a rubber tip nozzle on here, and it releases the pins, and if you look, the lifter will come apart. It'll just pull right apart. Now we got to be careful because these two pins, the lock pins, will fly out under spring pressure like that. So there's one pin. So these two pins sit inside the lifter, and oil pressure from the valve lifter oil manifold compresses those pins, and then the lifter collapses like so. It's a pretty heavy spring, but it collapses. Oops, my camera fell over. So it's a pretty heavy spring, but it'll collapse against the valve spring. So my thought now is this gets oil for lubrication purposes from this gallery here, I think, because something's got to lubricate this lifter. Why would that lifter fail when it's no longer collapsing in the first place? I think it's getting a lack of oil pressure to the lifter and it's seizing. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I gotta look up how the lifter gets lubricated. Is there another spring in here? So to put this lifter back together again, you put the two pins in. They're keyed. There's like a set screw here, so they only go one way with a spring in between. Compress them with your fingers and slide them in, and you can hear it snap when it goes down below the groove there. Now if I was to put air pressure in here, I could actually collapse this down into the bottom here. So again, my point is, why would that lifter stick bottomed when the valve lifter oil manifold system has been deleted. Leave your comments. Tell me what you think I should do.